Some families just have football in their DNA, meaning that more than one child ends up playing professional football. But what may differ significantly is the success levels between both siblings. So in this video, we take a look at 6 football siblings who are at the opposite ends of the professional scale. Whereas one is playing at the highest level, the other is barely known and playing somewhere in the lower leagues. But before we start the video, please like and subscribe and comment your favourite football siblings below. And a quick disclaimer before we start the video. All the footballers in this list played professional football, so are no failures by any stretch of the imagination. We are simply looking at football siblings who have had very different experiences in the pro ranks. Number 1. The Kroos brothers. World Cup and 5 times Champions League winner Toni Kroos needs no introduction. The 32-year-old German midfielder started his professional career in 2007 and has played over 200 times for Bayern Munich and over 300 times for Real Madrid, whilst playing 106 times for the German national team. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest midfielders of all time, and with 27 trophies to his name, is also one of the most decorated players in German history. And having just turned 33 years old, Toni Kroos has announced that he will retire at the end of the season. But his brother, Felix Kroos, who is a year younger than him, was not able to follow in his footsteps. He started his professional career at Hansa Rostock, a second-tier German side, for whom he made 29 appearances. He got his big chance in 2010 when he signed for Bundesliga side Werder Bremen. However, for the first 3 seasons at the club, he would mostly play for the club's reserve team down in Germany's 3rd division, whilst making only 11 league appearances for the first team during that time. For the next 2 seasons, he would become somewhat of a regular in the first team, enjoying the best spell of his career. But in the January of the 2015 and 2016 season, he was loaned out to Union Berlin in the 2nd division. He would sign for them permanently the following season, completing 4 seasons at the club, 3 in the 2nd Bundesliga and 1 in the Bundesliga. His final season came for Eintracht Braunschweig, for whom he made 32 appearances in the 2020 and 2021 season. He hung up his boots, having made 339 career appearances. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but not quite Toni Kroos level. Number 2. The Donnarumma brothers. It may come as a shock to some people to realise that Gianluigi Donnarumma is still only 23 years old. The 6'6" Italian goalkeeper has already made nearly 350 career appearances, having made his breakthrough at just 16 years old, an absurdly young age, especially for a goalkeeper. Last year he was able to help Italy win the Euros with his terrific performances, especially in the final, where he saved 2 penalty kicks and 1 player of the tournament. Off the back of that, he signed for PSG and is currently their number 1 keeper. But Gianluigi isn't the only Donnarumma who's a professional goalkeeper. His older brother, Antonio Donnarumma, is currently playing in the Serie C, the 3rd division of Italian football. He also started his career at AC Milan back in 2008, but was unable to make an appearance for them. He left the club in 2012 and signed for Genoa. There he was a 3rd choice goalkeeper, making 1 solitary league appearance in 3 years. Next he played in the Greece Super League for Asteras Tripolis, where he was the 1st choice goalkeeper. In July 2017 he re-signed for AC Milan, presumably due to his younger brother Gianluigi being there. His 2nd stint in Milan lasted 4 years, where he was a 3rd choice goalkeeper yet again. He made 3 appearances altogether. He is now 32 years old and has only made 98 career appearances despite being a pro for over 12 years. Number 3. The Hazard brothers. Though Eden Hazard has had a tough few years in his career and is clearly not the player he once was, there is no doubting his ability and achievements. After all, there's a reason why Real Madrid paid 100 million euros for him back in 2019. Having started in Lille, he established himself as one of the best players in the world at Chelsea. In his 7 years at the club, he grabbed 85 goals in the league and a further 61 assists, a GA of 146. He won 2 league titles, as well as 2 Europa Leagues. For his country, he served as captain and made over 126 appearances, before announcing his retirement after the 2022 World Cup. His younger brother, on the other hand, has struggled to make his mark in the game. Some of you may be thinking of Thorgan Hazard, and whilst it's true that his career hasn't been as good as Eden, he's still a top player, playing for Dortmund and his national team. The brother I'm referring to is in fact Kylian Hazard. The youngest of the Hazard brothers is unfortunately the worst footballer of the family. Just like his 2 older brothers, he was also on Chelsea's books at one point, but didn't make a single appearance, and probably only got signed because of who his brothers were. He saw the most playing time in his career, playing for Cercle Brugge in the Belgian 1st division, for whom he made 62 appearances across 3 seasons. Currently, he is 27 years old and playing in the Belgian 2nd division, whilst his older brothers just featured for Belgium at the World Cup. Number 4. The Abraham brothers. 25-year-old Tammy Abraham is currently one of the best strikers England have. Despite being left out of the World Cup squad, he has already shown in his young career that he is a quality striker. He had 2 spells in the Championship for Bristol City and Aston Villa, where he scored 23 and 25 league goals respectively. But he became somewhat of a household name after the 1920 season, where he scored 15 league goals for Chelsea under Frank Lampard. He left England for Italy when he signed for Jose Mourinho's Roma in 2021, and his stock has only grown since. He scored 27 goals in all competitions in his debut season and has been praised for his success abroad. And Tammy also has a younger brother, Timmy Abraham. He is only 21 years old, so definitely could still turn out to have a very good career. Nevertheless, he hasn't shown anywhere near the same quality as his older brother so far in his career. He began his career in Fulham's academy but did not play a single minute in West London and instead went out on loan several times. Those loan spells were at Bristol Rovers, Plymouth Argyle and Wraith Rovers and Newport County. He scored a grand total of 3 goals across 4 loan spells despite being a forward. He joined Walsall earlier this year but is currently out on loan again, this time at Oldham Athletic, who are playing in the National League. He could be a late bloomer, but chances are Timmy won't reach the level of his older brother Tammy. Number 5. The Pogba brothers. Paul Pogba at 29 years old is a World Cup winner and a 4-time Serie A winner. Despite inconsistencies in his career, he has also had great individual success. In 2013, he won the prestigious Golden Boy Award, as well as making several Team of the Years in both the Serie A and the Premier League. At one point, he was the most expensive player in the world, where Manchester United paid £89 million to re-sign him from Juventus back in 2016. And Pogba has 2 brothers who also play professional football, Florentine and Matthias. We will be focusing on Matthias because whilst Florentine hasn't had a particular great career himself, he still played 5 seasons in Ligue 1, a top 5 league, and has appearances in Europe, albeit in the Europa League. Matthias, on the other hand, wasn't even able to achieve that. Whilst Paul Pogba was in the Manchester United academy, Matthias was playing at Wrexham, a team in the 5th tier of English football. Unlike his brother Paul, Matthias is a striker and scored 15 goals in his spell at Wrexham. Since then, he has become a journeyman, playing for 11 different clubs in 10 years. Most of these teams have been in low-quality leagues across Europe, although he was briefly at Sparta Rotterdam in 2016, who play in the Eredivisie. Since then, he has progressively dropped down the leagues, with his last club being ASM Belfort, a team in the 4th division of France. Currently, he is without a club and spent the last few months in prison after allegedly being involved in an extortion plot against his own brother, Paul Pogba, for £11 million. Off the back of that, it's safe to say that his footballing career is over, as now even 4th division sides will think twice before signing him. Number 6. The Maguire brothers. Now, some of you may actually be confused as to which Maguire is the good footballer and which is the bad one. But Harry Maguire, despite his shortcomings, is still an elite level footballer, relatively speaking. He is the world's most expensive centre-back, regardless of whether he deserves to be or not, and is captain of one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United. He was also a starter for England at the World Cup, and to be fair, was arguably one of the best performances in the team. The same cannot be said for his younger brother, Lawrence Maguire. The 25-year-old currently plays for Chesterfield in the National League, the 5th tier of English football. He has been at the club since 2015, their longest-serving player, and has made 152 appearances for them so far. Despite being a regular in the previous seasons, this season Maguire has only played 40 minutes of football as he has fallen down the pecking order drastically. There is not much notable to say about Lawrence Maguire's career apart from the fact that he has made 2 appearances for England, the England C team that is, which is the football team that represents England at non-league level. And that was it for the 6 football siblings who are at the opposite ends of the professional scale. As always, please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.